There are over 128,000 open freelance project manager positions in the United States alone. That's a lot, right? So if you're asking the question, are there positions out there? The answer is yes. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Kayla, and this is where we talk all about project management, but we also talk about things like freelancing. We talk about working in startups. So if this is something that's interesting to you, I would love to invite you to subscribe. And I also want to ask you to please reach out and let me know what it is you'd like to hear about on the channel, because I want to make sure I'm talking about things that are interesting to you. Okay, on to today's topic. Today is all about freelancing. And the reason for that is because I'm getting so much feedback from you guys about how you are interested in getting into freelancing. You have questions around, how do you get started? Where do you find work? How much should you charge? All of this good stuff. And while I'm not going to cover all of that in today's video, I do want to touch on some of those questions that I get asked over and over and help you if you're a person who's interested in getting into freelancing, maybe to supplement your income. Maybe this is something that you want to sort of build up your freelancing client base so that you can go and launch your self-employment career. Maybe that's a direction you want to go as well. Whatever it is, I want to help you feel a little more comfortable, a little more confident with how to do that, what you need to do to develop that strategy for freelancing, because that's what it's all about. It's really about developing a strategy. Now, one of the first questions that I get from people is really a series of questions, and they'll say, is freelance project management a real thing? Is this something where I can make money off of it? Is it something where I could supplement my income or maybe even replace my income? And are there jobs out there? And I can tell you the answer is yes. I know the answer is yes, first of all, because this is work that I've been doing for 3 years now, and I've been able to move on and work for myself as a freelance project manager in a full-time capacity. I no longer have a full-time job. I'm able to support myself off of my freelance project manager income, which is really exciting and really great. So if you're curious about that, if you're curious if it's a real thing and if you can make money off of it, the answer there, in my opinion, and based off of my experience and what I've seen from other people who are going in this direction, is yes. Now, I was recently interviewed for an article in Dice, and the article was called 5 Steps to Become a Freelance Project Manager. And it was really exciting to be featured in this article, interviewed, and talk about my experience as a freelance project manager. But one of the things that I learned through the process of creating this article is that there are over 128,000 open freelance project manager positions in the United States alone. That's a lot, right? So if you're asking the question, are there positions out there? The answer is yes. Now, please be understanding that not all of these jobs are going to look the same. They're not all the same hours. They're not all the same rates. They're not all, they're across the board in terms of all of this and the type of organization and the industries and this and that and the other. But there are absolutely jobs out there, and there is a need for freelance project managers. And when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because projects by nature are temporary endeavors with a unique purpose. And we know there's a clear start and a clear end. And so if we're existing in an economy that's more project-based, which some people believe, or believe that we are moving toward that, then you would understand that we're going to have these more temporary pods of work where we need maybe temporary teams to come fill the need as we have projects that are, 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, whatever it is, we're going to need project teams for that. So if you understand that, you can understand why there would be a need for freelance, contract, temporary project managers. Now, I will add a little caveat here. The answer is yes, you can make money as a freelance project manager, but you have to be willing to put in the work. And there is quite a bit of work, especially if you want to be a freelancer in a full-time capacity. So yes, there are jobs. Yes, there's work out there. Yes, this is real. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you can make money at it, but you have to be willing to put in the work, okay? It's not just going to fall on your lap. Okay, so the next thing I want you to understand is that as a freelance project manager, you absolutely have to have a strategy, a really clear strategy. It's very similar to when you're on a job search, right? I mean, you could just shoot off a bunch of applications and send your resume everywhere, but we know that's not really the best way to land a job in general, but certainly not the best way to land a job that's going to be the best fit for you. So it's the same thing with your freelance project management strategy. I so often see people say, I'm going to get into freelance project management. I'm just going to put a profile up on Fiverr and Upwork and start applying to jobs. And yeah, you can do that. That's one way to do it. But I will tell you, especially now, there's a lot of saturation in those two platforms in particular, Fiverr and Upwork. And it can be very difficult to capture a job or capture the right job for you, especially if you don't have a strategy and especially if you don't have a clear value proposition for you and what it is that you offer. So that's always my next suggestion is you have to have a strategy. You have to know what it is that you're offering, what you're good at, where you add value, and how are you going to put yourself out there and market yourself. Now, along with that comes patience, okay? As a freelancer, you're probably going to need a big old handful of patience, a pile of patience, because you don't go out there and start making, $100 an hour, $150 an hour, unless you're a very experienced person with a great network with some consulting background or something like that. As a freelance project manager, you're going to have to have some patience. You're going to have to understand what the going rates are for work of this nature, but also what your bottom line is. So there's some pricing strategy that has to come in there as well. You also need to, and I mentioned this before, is figure out how to market yourself. And some of you may be moaning and groaning, this is not what you signed up for. You just want to be a project manager. You don't want to have to go out there and market yourself. That sounds awful. But the name of the game here really is that marketing yourself, networking. Networking is going to be absolutely key. So if you're a person who doesn't want to do either one of those things, if you're like, I just want the jobs, I just want to be a project manager. I don't want to have to worry about finding work. I don't want to have to worry about marketing myself and networking with people. I don't want any of that. I might suggest to you that freelancing may not be the best fit for you if these are things you don't want to do, because you will have to do these things to some degree to at least develop those initial relationships with people. Even if you get into a couple really good partnerships and you don't need to network as intensely as someone else might, you're still going to need to do some networking and some marketing of yourself. So please keep this in mind. Now, if you've gotten this far and you're like, okay, I thought I wanted to be a freelancer, but there's a lot to this. I just don't know where to start. I need some help here. That's okay. You are not alone. And that's why I put together my Freelance Project Manager Bootcamp. This is a program that I offer either in a group setting or in one-on-one sessions. It's over the course of 3 weeks. We'll meet 3 times, once each week, and we talk about all kinds of stuff to help you lay the groundwork for your freelance career. We'll revamp your resume. We'll look at your LinkedIn profile. We'll talk about content creation if you want to make that part of your strategy. Put together a project portfolio. We talk about how to set rates, where to find work, how to reach out to people, how to build your network. All kinds of stuff that will be helpful to you, not only in your freelance career, but beyond. And in fact, I just had someone complete my Freelance Project Manager Bootcamp, and when he finished, he said, I thought I wanted to do this to get into freelancing, and I still might, but what I actually realized over the course of the bootcamp is that the job that I have right now is not the right fit for me, and it's not what I want to do. It's not where my passion lies. So what I want to do is take all of this information that I've gathered from the Freelance Project Manager Bootcamp, and I want to apply that to my full-time job search. And that's the really great thing about this information in the Freelance Project Manager Bootcamp is it is geared toward freelancing, and I have some very specific information in there about freelancing and project management in particular. But you can also apply this to your job search strategy for a full-time job. You can also apply this to your general growth strategy as a project manager or as a professional who wants to sort of upskill and become better at what you do. There's a lot of really good stuff in here, and I've put this together in a way so that you don't have to worry about where to find all of these different pieces of information. I want to share them with you and help you as you go off and launch this next chapter in your career. So if you want to learn more, I'm adding a link below this video here where you can learn more about the Freelance Project Manager Bootcamp. If you're interested in signing up, send me an email. I'll put that information below the video as well. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Happy to help you, happy to answer questions. I hope to see you soon. This is really exciting. I'm very excited to offer this, and I hope this video was helpful to you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.